In this video, we will talk about the impact of climate change on biodiversity. Climate change and biodiversity are two of the most critical issues facing our planet today. Climate change refers to long-term changes in temperature, precipitation, and other atmospheric conditions on Earth, largely driven by human activities like burning fossil fuels and deforestation. Biodiversity, on the other hand, encompasses the variety of life on Earth, including all plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms, and the ecosystems they form. Biodiversity is vital because it supports ecosystem functions, from pollination to nutrient cycling, which humans rely on for food, medicine, and more. This essay examines how climate change impacts biodiversity, emphasizing why this relationship matters for ecological health and human well-being. 1. What is climate change? Climate change results from both natural processes and human actions, although recent changes are primarily driven by humans. Natural events like volcanic eruptions can alter the atmosphere temporarily, but activities such as burning fossil fuels for energy, industrial production, and land use changes like deforestation have led to a dramatic increase in greenhouse gases. These gases trap heat, warming the planet and altering weather patterns. Today, we're witnessing more frequent and severe events like storms, droughts, and heat waves. Glaciers are melting, sea levels are rising, and ecosystems around the world are feeling these changes, demonstrating that climate change affects the environment in complex, widespread ways. 2. Understanding biodiversity and its importance. Biodiversity exists on multiple levels: genetic diversity within species, diversity of species in ecosystems, and the variety of ecosystems on Earth. Each level plays a crucial role in ecosystem resilience and productivity. High biodiversity means ecosystems can better withstand environmental stress, ensuring the continuity of natural processes essential for life. For example, diverse plant species contribute to soil health, provide food, and help regulate climate. For humans, biodiversity offers valuable resources, such as crops and medicines, and is central to many cultures. Therefore, biodiversity isn't just about species count. It's about maintaining a balanced, functioning system that supports life on Earth. 3. Impacts of climate change on biodiversity. As the climate changes, it disrupts the habitats, behaviors, and life cycles of many species. Some species move to new areas where conditions are more favorable, leading to range shifts that can affect local ecosystems and native species. Climate change also impacts the timing of life events, like breeding or flowering, creating mismatches that affect species survival. Ecosystems, such as coral reefs and forests, face degradation as climate-driven events disrupt their balance. Warmer ocean temperatures cause coral bleaching, while increased CO2 levels lead to ocean acidification, threatening marine biodiversity. Species that cannot adapt fast enough risk extinction, altering ecosystems and the services they provide. 4. Vulnerable ecosystems. Certain ecosystems are particularly vulnerable to climate change. The Arctic and Antarctic regions, with their extreme cold, are warming at twice the global average, endangering species like polar bears and affecting ice-dependent organisms. Tropical rainforests, which support an immense variety of species, are threatened by warming temperatures, droughts, and deforestation. Coastal wetlands and mangroves are impacted by rising sea levels, which threaten the habitats of many unique species and increase the risk of flooding for coastal communities. Mountain ecosystems face a vertical threat as species are forced to move up to higher altitudes for cooler conditions, reducing available habitat and stressing high-altitude species. 5. Human activity and biodiversity loss. Human actions compound the effects of climate change on biodiversity. Deforestation reduces forest cover and releases large amounts of CO2 into the atmosphere, accelerating global warming. Pollution from industrial waste, pesticides, and plastic also harms many species and damages ecosystems. Habitat fragmentation, where large habitats are broken into smaller patches, restricts movement and breeding, reducing biodiversity. Overexploitation of resources, like overfishing and unsustainable hunting, reduces species populations and can cause ecosystems to collapse. Together, these activities drive biodiversity loss and create a feedback loop where reduced biodiversity further weakens ecosystems, making them more vulnerable to climate change. 6. The economic and cultural consequences of biodiversity loss. The decline in biodiversity carries significant economic and cultural implications. Ecosystems provide services like clean air, fertile soil, and pollinated crops, all of which have economic value. As biodiversity declines, the costs associated with losing these services increase. Farmers, for instance, face reduced crop yields, and fisheries suffer as marine biodiversity drops. Biodiversity loss also disrupts indigenous communities who depend on nature for food, medicine, and cultural practices, threatening their way of life and knowledge systems. Furthermore, as species disappear, humanity loses potential sources of medicines and genetic material for food crops, narrowing our resources and options for the future. 7. Efforts to mitigate climate change and preserve biodiversity. Countries and organizations worldwide have developed policies to address climate change and protect biodiversity. The Paris Agreement aims to limit global warming, which could help stabilize ecosystems, while the Convention on Biological Diversity works to protect global biodiversity. Conservation initiatives, like establishing protected areas and wildlife corridors, provide habitats for species to live and migrate safely. Sustainable practices in agriculture, forestry, and fishing reduce human impact on ecosystems, while restoration projects, such as reforestation and wetland recovery, work to bring back lost habitats. Together, these efforts aim to safeguard biodiversity against the growing threats posed by climate change. 8. Technological and scientific innovations. Advancements in science and technology offer tools to understand and address climate change impacts on biodiversity. Climate modeling helps scientists predict how warming will affect specific regions and species, allowing better planning and protection. Conservation technologies like GPS tracking, remote sensing, and environmental DNA sampling allow researchers to monitor species and ecosystems effectively. Renewable energy sources, such as solar and wind power, provide clean alternatives to fossil fuels, reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Through these innovations, we gain powerful ways to reduce our environmental impact and protect biodiversity for future generations. 9. What individuals can do to help. Individuals can help fight climate change by saving energy, reducing waste, and choosing eco-friendly products. Joining local conservation efforts and supporting green businesses also protects biodiversity and promotes a healthier planet. The impact of climate change on biodiversity is profound and complex, affecting ecosystems and species worldwide. As climate change accelerates, biodiversity loss becomes a more pressing issue, threatening the natural systems that all life depends on. Through a combination of policy actions, technological advances, community involvement, and individual efforts, it's possible to protect and restore biodiversity. Addressing climate change is critical not only for the environment, but for human societies that rely on the stability and resources provided by healthy ecosystems. Now more than ever, a collective effort is needed to preserve biodiversity and combat climate change for a sustainable future. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel before you go. Thank you for watching.